Hello everyone, I'm Paul McGuire Grimes. If you've seen the Grand Budapest Hotel, the Royal Tenenbaums, or Moonrise Kingdom, you're already familiar with the distinct style of Wes Anderson. The famed auteur is back with The French Dispatch, which is probably the most Wes Anderson-y film he's ever written or directed. It's now in theaters, and I want to talk about it. This is Paul's trip to the movies. The oddball stylings and characters that Wes Anderson is known for is on full display with his ever-growing company of actors. It centers around a magazine called The French Dispatch that's clearly inspired by The New Yorker. Its chief editor, played by Bill Murray, has recently passed away, and the film brings to life 3 articles that are in the final issue. The first is The Concrete Masterpiece, about a torture artist played by Benicio del Toro that's in prison, who becomes infatuated with the prison guard. The second is a story on politics and poetry, with Timothée Chalamet writing a manifesto and Frances McDorman playing a journalist who helps him out. The final piece is the taste and smell section called The Private Dining Room of the Police Commissioner, which features the likes of Jeffrey Wright, Liev Schreiber, and Willem Dafoe. Wes Anderson has taken his love of The New Yorker and uses inspiration from real-life artists and editors and writers to form his collection of characters here. And this ensemble may just be his biggest to date, given just the nature of it being 3 short films that are all kind of wrapped up in one movie. And part of the fun for me comes from watching his company of actors really grow and evolve with each film. Whether it's Owen Wilson and Bill Murray to Frances McDormand and Tilda Swinton. And then there's Benicio del Toro, Timothée Chalamet, and the legendary Lois Smith getting to just play into their zany sides. Everyone really knows and understands Wes's style, and the further they really play into that, I think the better for them making their characters stand out. His script is just full of really eccentric phrases that really only he could come up with and kind of get away with, that just fly out at a million miles an hour. He's got lines like, "The choir boy's half drunk on the blood of Christ," and "I feel shy about my tiny new muscles" are just a few of my favorite one-liners in this film. And this movie is just constantly in motion, with the camera going from like one window down to the next, and to the next, throughout the alley, into another bedroom, and beyond, in a really purposeful and forward motion, which seems far more deliberate than in some of his other films. I think that Wes Anderson and cinematographer Robert Yeoman have a way of working together that makes just every frame into this beautiful piece of art, with their typical kind of use of center framing. They do a lot of black and white here, and really then show off lavish color palettes as well. Now, unlike some of his other more universally celebrated films, it really feels imperative to go in with a really deep appreciation for Wes Anderson and his oddball sensibilities to really get anything out of The French Dispatch. His 3 short narratives will really reach audiences differently, or may not even resonate at all. The middle one, with Timothée Chalamet and Frances McDormand, happens to be my favorite, but the last one escaped me shortly after I left the theater. I would say come to The French Dispatch for the cast, but know that these stories may not grab hold of you. I'm giving The French Dispatch 3 out of 5 ticket stubs. If you like my review today, click subscribe on my YouTube channel, like I said, the movie reviews, as well as my appearances on Twin Cities Live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Paul's Movie Trip. Do you have a favorite Wes Anderson? I'd love to hear from you. Tell me your favorite. Mine happens to be Moonrise Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching my review of The French Dispatch. This is Paul's trip to the movies.